Inviting in acceptance, inviting in a shift, inviting in change. Feeling impatient, feeling some sadness. We are all, I think, in week 6 of our COVID, our social isolation. And in this time, I've leaned heavily on the practices of yoga, and Dr. Emoto's hidden messages in water, and how our thoughts actually change the molecules of water. And if we write a word on a vial of water, it actually changes the way that that water crystal freezes and the way that it looks. And over these last several weeks of isolation, finances, technology, all of the things that have come, there's definitely a bias towards fear, a bias towards getting caught up in those emotions. But if we lean into the technology of our body, the wisdom of our body, we can actually create wellness even in these times of challenge. We intentionally invite in acceptance. We intentionally look to create joy. And we start to count our blessings. And with each exhalation, take an audible humming exhalation, as if like you're enjoying some yummy, savory food or chocolate, something delightful. Take that humming, that yummy sigh, and start to locate where that feels good in your body. And just continue that sigh, noisy, yummy breath. And allow for wherever that feels good to ripple out. Allow for that to imprint all of your molecules of water. 60 to 80% of you that is water. And on an inhalation, sweep your fingertips up towards the sky, open up your arms wide and say a big yes. A big yes to your invitation, a big yes to experiencing a shift, a big yes to acceptance. And on your exhalation, pull that down into your heart. And inhale again, sweep the arms up and open, a gesture of a sun salutation. The sun that grants heat, that grants power, that grants nutrient for our well-being and our food. Exhale and pull your hands down into heart center. And we'll just continue this action of opening the arms up and wide. This is also known as the victory. Exhale, pull your hands down into heart center. It's considered a power stance. It's symbolic of you winning. And tons of studies have been done that when we hold power stances in our body, that our body actually starts to emit reward chemicals of dopamine and testosterone. We actually become stronger. So even if we aren't an alpha, by holding these postures, these power postures, these yes postures, we actually create a strengthening in our body. And as we open our arms up wide to this victory stance, it can also be seen as a gratitude. Gratitude to this great sun, gratitude to all of the blessings in your life. And on your next exhalation, pull your hands down through heart center and take a twist to the left hand behind, right hand across. Inhale through center and twist to the right. And we look over to the right and then move through the left and through center and to the right. And just continue to twist from side to side. And at first, look down at the ground on either side of your shoulder. Just take inventory of the space that you're in. And then take your gaze to the middle, just slightly over your shoulder. And maybe up slightly above your head. Not looking to torque your head. And a couple more times, and maybe you start to see the things that are in your surroundings. Wow, I have comfort, I have heat, or I have air. I have beauty. I have a roof over my head. I have health. Moving on your next inhalation, move through center and arch over towards the right, through center and to the left. And just begin to sway from side to side, opening through the waistline, bending at the waist, bending, stretching through the armpits. And continuing this from side to side, but adding on a bow forward. On your next exhalation to the right, bow yourself forward, sweep at the earth, and open up to the right. And bow forward, sweep at the earth, and open up to the right. And as you bow in, maybe you can have some reverence for the gravity that holds you. Maybe some reverence for the earth that rises up to support you. Maybe some reverence for this body being able to actually move. And we're just going to keep counting our endless blessings. And because you're in your space by yourself, maybe you actually even say some of these things out loud. Sound is powerful. And on your next inhalation, draw yourself up to center. Rock forward onto your hands and your knees, making your way into your tabletop. Round your spine, look down into your heart. And on your inhalation, take a gentle back bend. And exhale to round, look down into your heart, and inhale into your back bend. One more time, spinal undulations, pulsing through your cat-cows. Next time, extend your right leg straight out to the right, bringing your right toes, the entire outside part of your foot, the pinky toe side of your foot to the earth, and round your spine, look down into your heart, scooping your tail, and inhale to lift your heart. And exhale to round. Now point your left toes, the knee that you're on, and on your next exhalation, press your butt back towards your heels and count your blessings for how tight you are. Inhale, rise, shoulders over hands. Exhale and press back. Look at how tight and strong I am. Inhale, rise. And one more time, exhale, press your butt back towards your heels. And pause here for just a couple rounds of breath. Your butt may not go all the way back to your heels, no big deal, just opening up through the inner thigh. And I bless these lines of energy in my body, these channels that are awakening, these channels that are resistant. Inhale, rise to a tabletop, hands and knees, and extend the left leg out to the left.
A couple cat-cow undulations, round your spine, scooping your tail. Inhale into your back bend, just working the tuck of your pelvis and the lift of your pelvis around your extended left leg, looking for mobility through the hips. Point your right toes and press your butt back towards your heels. And it might come with a little bit of a creak or a gasp. Inhale, rise, shoulders over hands. And exhale, press butt back towards your heels. And it's a towards, it may not go all the way. One more time, shoulders over hands, and then press your butt back to your heels and pause here for a couple of rounds of breath. And we invite in acceptance. Acceptance of our resistance. Acceptance of our sadness. Acceptance of our rigidity. And maybe we even invite in gratitude that these emotions or these feelings are illuminating what is important to us. And it turns out that social bonding is important to me. Inhale, rise, tabletop, hands and knees. Round your spine, look down into your organs. Inhale into your gentle back bend and neutral spine. Extend your right leg straight behind you. Tuck your toes under. And on your exhalation, press through your right heel and let your left knee come off of the ground. Keep the left toes on the ground. Press your right heel towards the earth for an epic calf stretch. And release your knee to the earth, right knee to the earth, and extend your left leg straight behind you, bringing the ball of the foot to the ground. Press strong through your left calf into your hands and lift your right knee off of the ground. This kind of staggered dog, stretching left heel towards the earth, waking up the calves. And release both knees. One more time on the right side, extend the right leg straight. Push back through the heel and lift your left knee, floating your right heel towards the earth. Now with your right heel, start to work through the pinky toe side of your right foot, kind of pressing through the pinky side of your foot, starting to activate through the outer band of your right calf. And both knees come to the ground. Extend your left leg back behind you. And we just work with acceptance. We work with patience. Press back through the left heel. And then really work through the pinky toe side of your left foot. Pressing the left outer heel towards the ground, finding that outer band, that outer channel, asking for that to come awake. And release both of your knees to the ground. Round your spine, look down into your heart, and press your butt back towards your heels. Slide your hands back to your knees and lift your chest. And on your next inhalation, reach your fingertips towards the sky and open your arms wide to a big victory yes. And from your big victory yes, fold your heart forward, plant your hands, and bring your forehead to the earth. Tuck your toes. Inhale to slide your hands back over your knees, your thighs, and reach your arms up into a big victory yes. Toes are tucked under. And on your exhalation, bow your heart forward, bring your heart towards the earth, your forehead towards the earth. One more time, slide your hands back to your thighs. Open the arms up and wide to a big victory yes. Toes are tucked under still. On your next inhalation, lift your tush off of your heels for a kneeling standing pose. And on your next exhalation, plant your hands, lift your knees and press back to a downward facing dog. Take your hands as wide as your mat in this inverted victory yes with your arms. Arms are open wide and your heart searches for the earth. press the heels towards the ground. We'll stay here for 3 rounds of breath. Arms open wide, yes. Heels stretching, expanding. And then step your feet as wide as your mat. And walk your hands back 1 palm print at a time. Grab opposite elbows and begin to pedal opposite knees. Bend your right knee, extend your left leg to straight. Bend your left knee and extend your right leg to straight. And allow for your body to flow from side to side. Practicing flowing from experience to experience. And you may come back to that yummy exhalation. Settle yourself into center. And on your next inhalation, slide your hands up to your thighs. Lean back into your heels. Then extend your arms straight out in front of you. Lean back into your heels. And on your next inhalation, come all the way up to standing. Fingertips reach wide. Open slightly to a victory yes. Squeeze the legs into each other. Take 3 yummy exhalations. What is delicious about this body right now? The strength of your thighs, the beating of your heart. I say yes to this. And on your next exhalation, pour your hands down into heart center. Inhale to sweep the fingertips up and exhale to your forward fold, swan dive. Inhale to your spinal extension. Exhale to fold in and float your right foot back. Move your right foot back far enough to let your left knee come to your deep 90-degree angle. And on your inhalation, bring your hands to your front thigh. Reach your fingertips towards the sky, open the arms slightly wide. And on your exhalation, twist to the left. Left fingertips reach behind, right hand out in front of you. And inhale, come back to center. And exhale, twist to the right. Fingertips go front to back. Inhale, arms up to center, torso to center, and twist. Left and right, through center, twist again. One more time on each side. Just simply looking for all the ways that you can count the greatness in your life. Plant your hands and step your right foot forward, forward folds. Spinal extension on your inhalation, open your heart. Exhale to fold in and float your left foot back. Right knee comes to your deep 90-degree, and then release your knee to the earth. Inhale your arms up and slightly out, making a big victory V. And on your exhalation, twist to the right, opening up the arms from front to back. Inhale through center and twist to the left. Through center and to the right. And work with the gaze of your eyes. As you go to the, look behind you, look down at the foot, and then maybe the second time, you look over the shoulder. And then maybe over the third time, you look slightly up above your shoulder, working your eyes in different directions. Plant your hands, left foot comes forward, forward folds. Heel toe your feet as wide as your mat. Bend your right knee and lean over to the right side. Come back to center and bend your left knee and lean over to your left side. Back to center. Bend your right knee and let your hips dip over towards the right. Back to center. And bend the left knee, let your hips dip over to the left. Back to center. Now next time, take your hips over towards the right and walk your hands to the left. Take your hips far to the right and walk your hands over to the left. And then walk yourself back to center. Bend your left knee, take your hips over towards the left, and then walk your hands over to the right. Asking for this counter opening, this counter stretch. Looking for different ways I can be. Looking for different ways I can support myself. Bring yourself back to center. Inhale to slide your hands up your thighs. Spinal extension. Lean back towards your heels. Lean back towards your tush, making your spine get really strong. Extend your arms out in front of you and come all the way up to standing. Victory. Yes. Into my heart. Hands, they come. Inhale, reach your fingertips towards the sky. Exhale to bow forward, Uttanasana, a reverent offering. Spinal extension on your inhalation. Fold in to step your right foot back. Move your right foot back far enough, your left knee comes to this deep 90-degree. And bring your right hand to your block on the inside of your left leg. On your inhalation, stretch left fingertips straight out in front of you and possibly just slightly over your left shoulder. So your hand will still be in your line of view. The tendency is to want to take the arm really far behind you, losing your gaze, losing your perspective, and it just creates for the shoulders to be a little wonky. Just taking a gentle spinal twist, plant your hands, and step your right foot forward, forward fold. Spinal extension, with your inhalation, fold in to float your left foot back. Slide your left foot back far enough, right knee comes to a deep 90-degree. Block on your left hand, and on your inhalation, twist open towards the right. Start to stretch right fingertips up towards the ceiling, possibly out in front of you, so that you can still see your hand out of your eye. So instead of thinking about how far can I get it towards the ceiling or back behind me, keep your perspective. Keep completely connected to seeing. Seeing the blessings, seeing the offerings. Plant your hands and press back to downward facing dog. Pedal through your heels in your down dog. And as you pedal through the heels, really allow for the right knee to bend and the hips to slightly dip towards the right. And then bend the left knee and allow your hips to dip slightly towards the left. Almost like you're a little salsa dancer. Just allow for the twist and the turn. Release both of your knees to the ground. On your exhalation, round your spine, look down into your heart. Inhale into your gentle back bend. And exhale to press back to a child's pose. Buttocks to heels, forehead to the mat. Have your thighs together, and on your inhalation, lift your belly up and place it over your right thigh. Place it over your right thigh, and your hands will literally come back towards the alignment of your hip. So instead of the hands forward, look for a deep opening, and instead of trying to get your head to the ground, stay up on the forearms or the hands straight, and look for a really awesome opening from the left rib cage all the way down to the left hip. In our body, this particular area is in association to a meridian that is about decision making. Do I go left? Do I go right? Do I go left? Do I go right? Do I allow my head to entertain this, or do I allow my head to entertain that? We want for these areas to be supple so that we're choosing versus our body choosing rigidity for us. Awesome. Walk yourself back through center and pick your belly up and come over your left side. And literally walk your hands back to be in alignment with your left hip. So if you need to, keep the arms straight in order to get there. We're asking for a full opening of the rib cage to move, for the shoulders that start all the way down at the pelvis to open. Maybe you lower your belly over your left thigh. Do I choose joy? Do I choose love? Do I choose pleasure? Do I choose ambition? Do I choose connection? I choose suppleness. So my body can find its access to the full range of motion. When we lose full range of motion, we start to experience pain. When we lose strength in our body, we experience pain. Great, now bring yourself back up to center, hands and knees, tabletop. Then walk your hands slightly in front of your shoulders instead of directly under your shoulders. Squeeze the legs to each other. Squeeze the thighs, squeeze the ankles. And then pivot on your right knee. Come to the blade of your right foot and lower your right hip down. Inhale and roll your knees back through center. Keep the thighs married, the ankles married, and then roll to your left hip. Keep your right hand on the ground. Through center, and then roll over to your right hip. Through center and to the left. One more time, through center and to the right. Now inhale to stretch your left fingertips towards the sky, and on your exhalation, thread left arm underneath right arm. Don't worry, it's not gonna go too far. Inhale to open left arm, and exhale, thread left arm underneath right arm. It's an idea. One more time, fingertips reach towards the sky, and exhale to thread. Now pause in this thread. Breathe deep into your back body. This is not about how far can you get, it's just simply how much can you feel. Feel the resistance that your body has. And take a deep breath of awareness. I see you, resistance. I imagine that you are wise. And then bring yourself back to center and take it to the left. Reach the right fingertips towards the sky. And on your exhalation, thread right arm underneath left arm. Inhale to open and unwind. And exhale to thread. Right arm underneath left arm. Last time. And exhale to thread. And we'll pause here for several rounds of breath. Your right palm may come to the ground. You might stay high on fingertips. And breathe. Take a couple of yummy exhalations, making your sighing, making your moaning noise. And notice that when you make that moan, your body gives you something pleasurable. It gives you some relaxing. And unravel yourself. Tabletop, hands and knees. Round your spine, look down into your organs. Inhale into a very gentle back bend. And on your next exhalation, press back, downward facing dog. Bend your knees, And step your feet as wide as your mat and walk your hands back one palm print at a time. Letting the knees bend and the hips shift as you make your way back. Knees stay bent. Grab opposite elbows and begin to pedal through the knees. And as you pedal through the knees, allow your body to sway over that bent knee. Allow weight to deeply transfer. Allow your body to indulge in pleasure. Bending the knees and moving the hips from side to side. And then settle yourself into center. Slide your hands up to your thighs. Spinal extension. Lean back towards your tush. Extend your arms out in front of you and come all the way up to standing. Exhale, your hands come into heart, center. Take your right leg, place it behind your left knee. Squeeze the legs into each other. Both knees are bent. Right knee into left knee pit. And on your inhalation, draw your hands up through center line. And exhale, pour over the left side of your body, trying to get your hands to the ground. You'll feel this really awesome opening through this right outer hip. And then inhale, draw yourself back up to center. Right knee is behind left knee. Right knee is behind left knee, and continue to scrub down the left side of your body. And as that happens, you're going to feel an awesome opening in this outer right hip. And back up. Down the left side. Knees are bent. And coming back up. One more time, down the left side. And coming back up. Reverse the legs. Left knee behind right knee. Left knee behind right knee. Inhale your hands up through the central channel of your body, and exhale, pour down the right side of your legs. And back up. Exhale and down. And as you move down, you're going to feel this opening through the outer hip. When the outer hips are excessively tight, we experience pain in our lower back, limited range of motion, dysfunction in our knees. One last time, down the side and back to center. Follow an inhalation, sweep your fingertips towards the sky, open yourself into a big yes. Exhale to fold in, forward fold. Spinal extension lifts you up on your inhale. Exhale to fold in and step your right foot back. Left knee to that deep 90 degree, and then turn your 10 toes to the right. Take your blocks with you, or your very tall fingertips. Lean back into your heels, and especially through the pinky toe heel. Knees are unlocked. And enjoy a couple of yummy exhalations. Noisy, moaning, enjoyable exhalations. Let your body enjoy this. Really keeping pressure through the outer heels. Now walk your hands over to your left leg. And as you walk your hands over to the left leg, keep your right hip pushing back. Keep your right hip moving back, and then walk your hands over towards your left leg. We'll take 3 more exhalations here. Arms can stay straight, or the elbows can bend. And give yourself a yummy exhalation. Walk yourself through center and then over to the right. And as you walk your hands over to the right, notice the tendency for your left hip to want to follow. Push your left hip back. Push your left hip back. And from your anchored left hip, grow your waistline. Yummy exhalations. Our bodies are derived from desire, the desire to replicate itself over and over and over again. This is the wisdom of our being. We have choice to deny that, or we have choice to enter into relationship. Walk yourself back to center. Heel toe your feet slightly towards each other. Stack your blocks on top of each other and take a seat. Malasana. You can stack your blocks on top of each other, making a really tall seat, or one block making a medium seat. Regardless, be supported here today. With each inhalation, grow your chest up super tall. Turn the palms to open and bring the elbows to the insides of the knees. Lift your breastbone towards the sky. And think about your back doing a back bend. Take 3 audible moaning exhalations. And see where that feels pleasurable in your body. Just the sound of your hum. And lean forward and remove your block and come onto your seat. Bring your right shin parallel to the front edge of your mat. So the heel is slightly away from your pubic bone versus the heel at your pubic bone or the foot at the thigh. Working the shin towards parallel. So Brandon, take your heel further away from your pelvis. Keep going. Yep. Great. Now lean over to your right hip and your left butt will actually come off of the ground. And bend your left knee and bring the sole of your left foot to the inner thigh. And then point your left knee straight up towards the ceiling. So your left foot is standing on your right thigh. Yeah. And just hang out here. Ramona, move your heel into the flesh of your thigh. Yep, move the heel into your thigh. Closer towards your knee. There's gonna be a point that's like, holy God. Yep, and the more you lean over, that's the face. Isn't that incredible? Now you can lower down onto your forearm if that's more comfortable for you. We're gonna hang out here and just allow for this pressure point to be activated. Oh God. Yeah, and find that really juicy spot in your thigh. And just keep pushing from the knee down into the heel, down into the thigh. Now keep that activation of the foot into the thigh, and then just start to shake your tush. It's not about moving your knee. It's about moving your butt. So it's not a knee flap. It's not a butterfly wing. It's the pelvis moving. And think about the possibility of keeping your forearm on the ground and your left butt actually coming to the ground. What? Yeah, so we're asking for a lot of mobility through this waistline. Think about the possibility of your left tush actually coming to the ground and your forearms, oh my gosh, being able to stay on the ground. And you might have to start to inchworm your elbows back towards your thigh. And what's really fun is you haven't noticed, but your knee has actually been descending as you've been doing this. Now on your next inhalation, allow for your left tush to come to the ground. Ha, ha, ha. Feet are super active. The ankles are like in ski boot foot. Feet are super, super active. You can take your block and place it underneath your lifted left knee, between your knee and your foot. Alrighty. Fire log pose, Agni Stambhasana. This is typically a pose that we don't want to experience. One of my teachers, he says, Lyndsey, it's fire log, not fire face. And our face gets all twisted up, resisting the experience. Squeeze the legs towards each other. And the good news is that we only have 2 legs. I like to give myself a little shimmy from side to side. Yep, like wiggle in your seat. And this isn't about getting my knee to go any further. This is just asking for my nervous system to get around whatever the heck this is. Yeah, so I'm just gonna shake. Just shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. Shake your booty. Okay, cool. Let's move with breath. Victory. Hi, yi, yi. Lean forward. Ay, ay, ay. Over to the right. Ha. Through center and over to the left. Oh gosh. Through center and to the right and through center to the left. And maybe it's really hard to count your blessings here. But when you come out of it, you'll count a lot of blessings. Here we go. And happily. Oh my gosh, unravel your legs. What do you think? Let's do the second side. Bring your left foot parallel to the edge of your mat so that the shin is forward versus the heel coming to the pubic bone. The foot comes forward. So the heel is away from the pubic bone, probably so far that you could actually get a block between your pubic bone and your calf. Long block, yeah. So that shin is pretty far forward. Now lean over onto your left hip and your right butt comes off the ground. Make your left foot super, super active. The ankle shall never touch. And then take your right heel and place it in the center of your left thigh. So there's like a part where you start to move towards the back of your thigh. It's not very tender. And if you start to move too much towards the top, then you slide off. There's just this really delicate point where you would never want anybody to push into it. And that's the point you're going to push into. And just lean on over. Yep. That's all. We're just going to allow for this acupressure point to get stimulated. Come over onto your forearm if that's an option for you. Both feet are super active. The ankles are immovable. They're ski boot foot. And from your knee, press straight down into your right heel and into the flesh of your leg. This is a very, very important acupressure point for distributing chi through your body, getting chi to move. Stagnant, stuck life force. We want for that life force to move freely through us. Alrighty, and keep the foot pushing down into the thigh and just start to work your right butt towards the ground. This isn't about the knee flapping. This is not a butterfly wing of the knee. This is about your butt. Push your butt towards the ground. Yeah, and then just open up through the waistline. Keep the foot pushing into the thigh. Keep the foot pushing into the thigh. And as you do that, it keeps these inner thighs engaged. When the inner thigh is engaged, then the outer hip can start to open. And then maybe you start to inchworm your elbows back towards your hip and think about the possibility of getting your right butt all the way to the ground. Sorry if you're short-waisted, I'm short-waisted. So I just racked my ribs over my hip. Awesome. And then bring both of your tushies to the ground. Reach underneath, you can push all your sit flesh out. Take a block and place it underneath your lifted knee. It might be both knees are lifted, that's okay. This is not about getting the legs to the ground. This is about experiencing what is. Jeez, for the love. This is terrible. I love it. We all wore red to class today for Agni. Agni Stambhasana, fire log. Keep squeezing the legs towards each other. And I always like to give myself a little shimmy from front to back. Shaking my booty, front to back. Really get the flesh of my butt moving on the ground. The sit bones are moving. I'm just asking my nervous system to get around this. It's like, what is this? I'm not trying to get out of sensation. I'm just asking, just knocking on the door. Hey, you guys, what's happening in here? What's happening? I'm not asking to break up the party. I'm just asking to know what's going on in that party. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, here we go. This is a blast. Open yourself up to a big V yes. Accept the gift of life has been given. Left arm over to the left. Dive yourself forward and all the way to the right. And dive yourself forward and all the way to the left. And continue to sway, accepting all the spectrums, accepting all of the angles, accepting all of the sensations. The gift of life as it's been given. And happily, my goodness, happily unravel yourself and make your way onto your back. Bend your knees. Take your feet as wide as your mat and happily let your knees fall into each other. And with your knees falling into each other, alternate the dip of the knee. Lift the left knee and let the right knee fall in, and then lift the right knee and let the left knee fall in. And just alternate the dip of the knees falling in. This is definitely not about pushing your knees down. This is just simply a little wave of the hand or little wave of the knee, a little flap of the butterfly wing. This is not forceful in any way. If we do too much internal rotation, we can actually harm our SI joint. So this is definitely not a force in any way. Now allow for your knees to come into each other. Bring a gentle press of your head into the earth. Press your shoulders into the earth. Head back, shoulders back. Bring a gentle press of your knees into each other, engaging the inner thighs. Engaging the inner experience. And when we engage, we feel and we can heal. When we engage with the clutter in our drawers or in our closets, we can actually make action on it and clear it out. And breathe and feel. Feel and heal. And extend your legs straight for a very well-deserved Shavasana. Final relaxation pose. Begin to move through your fingers and toes. And count on each finger a person, a place, a memory, an animal, a hobby, a friend that you can be grateful for, that you feel blessed from or by. Maybe it's a food, an activity. Maybe it's something about yourself, your character, your strength.
And slowly start to bend your knees, making your way over to your right side. And press your way up to a comfortable seat. Left hand and right hand come together at heart center, the fire center, the center of your chest, the house of your spirit. Thank you so much for taking time out and creating wellness for yourself today. Have a wonderful evening. Namaste.